I think they're working. Now,
Should we go again?
yeah, you can start over.
The governor of the state of Illinois has declared a gubernatorial disaster proclamation in response to COVID-19 outbreak, and all of the village of Glendale Heights is covered by the disaster area. In light of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, the village president of the village of Glendale Heights has determined that an in-person meeting for the April 21st, 2022 village board meeting is not practical or prudent in light of the disaster. All of the trustees of the village board participating in the April 21, 2022 village board meeting, I believe, a meeting wherever their physical location shall be verified and determined that they can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony during the meeting. Signed, Chaudhry M. A. Khokar, Village President of the Village of Glendale Heights, dated April 21, 2022. I would like to call this village board meeting of Thursday, April 21, 2022 to order. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mayor Coker,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt,
Here.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Here.
Trustee Light,
Here.
Trustee Meritato,
Here.
Trustee Pojek,
Here.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Please stand and join me in saying of the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We now move on to see petitions and communications. Number one, community announcement. Trustee Smith, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Village of Glendale Heights is conducting a survey of residents through the help of Northern Illinois University's Center for Governmental Studies. The survey will help us to understand residents' opinions of living in Glendale Heights, village-provided services, and the areas that the village should focus its attention on. The findings of the survey will help the village plan for the future. Randomly selected households will be sent the survey via email and mail. All responses are confidential. If your household is randomly selected to receive the survey, please complete it by June 3rd, 2022. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email our Public Relations Division at public_relations@glendaleheights.org. With the arrival of the spring season, the Village of Glendale Heights, along with the Glenside and Bloomingdale Fire Protection Districts, would like to remind residents that it is unlawful for any uncontrolled burning of landscape waste. Fires in approved containers like fire pits are allowed as long as they are located 15 feet, at least 15 feet from any structure. For more information, please contact the Glenside Fire Protection District at 630-668-5323 or Bloomingdale Fire Protection District at 630-894-9080. Thank you.
You're welcome. Trustee Siddiqui, please.
DuPage County is now offering a 2-year crisis-only low-income household water assistance program. This program provides one-time assistance to prevent disconnection, restore a water connection, and helps with fees associated to your water bill. The total benefit for one household is $1,500 for water and sewer. Residents can apply through DuPage County anytime during the 2 years this program is being offered. DuPage County staff will review your water and sewer bills to determine how much needs to be paid for the required service. If you are at risk of disconnection or your service has already been disconnected, you can call 630-407-6500. I have a quick question for Doug. Do we have any program for those people who are paying water bill on time?
No.
So it's just for the one who doesn't pay bill?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, thank you. Do you have unwanted or old cell phones, retired US flags, bikes, batteries, and other recyclables? Drop them off at the One Stop Reuse and Recycling Depot this Saturday, April 23rd from 10 a.m. to noon. All items can be dropped off at the GH2O Aquatic Center parking lot located at 240 Civic Center Plaza. Items not accepted include hazardous waste, large appliances, and CFL bulbs. Document shredding will also be available at the event with a limit of 2 boxes per vehicle. For more information or complete list of accepted items, visit www.glendaleheights.org or call 630-260-6000.
Trustee Light, please.
Thank you. Now that spring is here, the Village of Glendale Heights would like to remind residents that many projects in and around the house may require a permit. Common projects needing a permit include work on decks, sheds, patios, re-siding of your house, and re-roofing. For a complete list of projects requiring a permit, please visit www.glendaleHeights.org/comdev/building permits. We would also like to remind you, do not pay your contractor until they have contact community development to ensure that all work is up to code. If you're not sure if your project requires a permit or if you need to apply for one, please contact Community Development Department at 630-260-6030. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Clerk Schmidt, please.
The Village of Glendale Heights is now hiring for a number of full-time, part-time, and seasonal positions at Glendale Lakes Golf Club, GH2O Aquatic Center, Public Works, and the Parks Recreation Facilities Department. Positions range from laborers, lifeguards, youth program counselors, and many more. Gain valuable experience and make friends that will last a lifetime working for the Village of Glendale Heights. For more information, please visit www.glendaleheights.org/HR or contact Human Resources at 630-909-5357. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Maritato.
Thank you. During the month of April and May, parking restrictions will be in effect from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. due to street sweeping. Color-coded no parking signs are posted in 4 different zones throughout the village. Street parking is not allowed on Mondays for the red zone, Tuesday for the blue zone, Wednesday for the green zone, and Friday for the brown zone. To find out your zone, visit the village website. For any questions on street sweeping program, please contact Public Works at 630-260-6040. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Pojek, please.
Thank you. Arbor Day is a nationally celebrated observance that encourages tree planting and care, founded by J. Sterling Morton in 1872. It is celebrated each year on the last Friday in April to coincide with the best tree planting times. This year, Illinois observes Arbor Day on Friday, April 29th. The village will be working with various community groups to plant new trees throughout the community in honor of Arbor Day. If you have any questions regarding tree planting and care, please call 630-260-6060. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Schroeder, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Summer is just around the corner, and the Glendale Heights 2O Aquatic Center will be opening Memorial Day weekend on May the 28th. Purchase your pool pass between May 1st and May 22nd for discount rates. Benefits to become a member includes priority entrance at 11:30 a.m. and discount on swim lessons, swim team registration, pool rentals, and more. For more information, contact the Sports Hub at 630-260-6060. Also, the next coffee and chat with the village president and board will be on Saturday, May the 7th, at the Center for Senior Citizens from 10 a.m. to noon. If you are unable to attend and you have any comments, suggestions, or questions for the village president or the village board, please call the village president office anytime at 630-909-5302. Thank you.
Welcome. We have the following proclamation. A proclamation to proclaim April 24 to May 1st, 2022 as Days of Remembrance. 3-A proclamation to proclaim April 22, 2022 as Earth Day. Number 4, a proclamation to proclaim April 29, 2022 as Arbor Day. 5, a proclamation to proclaim May 1st, 2022 as Global Love Day. 6, a proclamation to proclaim May 1st, 2022 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week. If there are no objections, I will sign this proclamation. So, okay. Next is a presentation of the 2022 Move with Mayor challenges.
So Mayor Chris Navarro, Recreation Supervisor at the Sports Hub, is going to do this presentation.
Just click the next one, right? Good afternoon. So I will be speaking about the Move with the Mayor Spring Fit City Challenge 2022. This event is actually going to start this evening, and it will continue through May 31st. This event is a challenge designed to help individuals become fit and healthy leaders while working together to build friendly competition and encourage positive change in the community. Each participant's activity minutes will count towards their team total, allowing them to climb the leaderboards. So currently there's 18 cities participating in this, and Glendale Heights being one of them. In order to participate, you can visit sparkamerica.com/register to create an account and join Team Glendale Heights. You can also download the People One app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Once you have the app or you're on your desktop, you can join the 2022 Spring Fit City Challenge. And from there, you can track your activity minutes using your phone or a Fitbit or smartwatch if you'd like. Some examples that count as your activity will be using the stairs, doing simple household chores, having an impromptu dance party. You can go grocery shopping, playing with your dogs, parking away from your entrance, planting a garden. So these are simple things, and we're trying to encourage everyone to be a little bit more active in their everyday lives and join Team Glendale Heights. And to do that, we're offering a little bit of moving motivation. These are prizes that we'll be awarding participants for reaching certain milestones this season. Participants who reach 600 activity minutes by the end of the campaign will be able to receive a Team Glendale Heights water bottle. And if they reach 1,200 activity minutes by the end of the campaign, they will be awarded a Team Glendale Heights t-shirt. In addition, the Move with the Mayor campaign is offering a raffle of a pair of Vionic shoes to any team who has 50 or more members continuously tracking their activities. So if Team Glendale Heights does have 50 or more members, we'll be raffling those off. Throughout the campaign, we will be also sharing important information regarding heart health and stroke prevention in our social media. So definitely keep an eye out for that throughout the Sports Hub social media, Instagram, and the Village Twitter as well. In order to celebrate this event, we will be offering a free community event on Thursday, May 26th. This event will be a community walk and sunset yoga at Camera Park. At 7 p.m., we invite anyone to come out to Camera Park and join us for a short walk. And then immediately following that, we will be having a sunset yoga at 7:30, which is once again free and available to all ages. For more information, you can visit www.ghprf.com/movewiththemayor. And then, as I mentioned before, we'll also be sharing important information through our social media on Facebook at your GHRD, or on Instagram at GH Sports Hub, and then on Twitter at the Village Twitter, which is VOGH News. So we hope everyone here and everyone at home will join us and start tracking their activity minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Next.
I want everybody to know that I'm already signed up, and so I'm the leader for Glendale Heights right now with 40 minutes. So there's a lot of room for passing me. Everybody's
You walk a
laughing
quarter
out
mile?
here. Huh?
Never mind.
I walked 2 miles one day.
It's a great pace.
I walked it twice. All right. That was my stall tactic. Mayor and board, thank you for allowing me a few minutes this evening to talk about the Tree City Award and Arbor Day, which is upcoming.
Welcome.
The village was awarded the Tree City USA Award in 2021 from the Arbor Day Foundation for the 25th consecutive year. This award is given to communities that have shown a commitment to their tree community. The Tree City USA program, sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation, provides direction, technical assistance, public attention, and national recognition for urban and community forestry. The Tree City USA program has over 3,400 cities and towns currently recipients, with Glendale Heights being one of the over 170 from Illinois. This year, Arbor Day is April 29th, and the Parks Division, along with the Village of Glendale Heights Preschool and Path program, will be celebrating by planting a tree on the village campus. Additionally, Kiwanis Club started this year's events off by planting a tree today at Americana while learning the benefits of trees and their role in the environment, and also putting mulch and planting some flowers to go with it. Here's just a few of the Arbor Day celebrations from last year that got us this award. I know the board always likes when I have my fun facts for Arbor Day. So Arbor Day is always celebrated on the last Friday of April. The first Arbor Day celebrated on April 10th, 1872 in Nebraska City, Nebraska, which means it is actually the 150th Arbor Day celebration this year. And as Chester mentioned earlier, Julius Sterling Morton was the person behind the first Arbor Day, and he later became the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture under President Grover Cleveland. Every year, the Tree City USA presents communities that go a little bit further with the Tree City Growth Award. A point system determines Growth Award winners, and points can be received in the following categories: building the team, measuring trees and forests, planning the work, performing the work, and community framework. The Village of Glendale Heights was awarded the Tree City Growth Award for the 9th time in 2021. The major project that helped to get the Growth Award this year was the daily education that was put on the village's social media platforms in April of 2021 during the height of the COVID pandemic. And all this information was out there on a daily basis to give the residents some information about trees and the benefits of trees. Mayor and board, thank you again for giving us a few moments to talk about Arbor Day and the Tree City Award. Tonight, I brought along some PATH students and counselors that worked on a poster that we wanted to share with the board. Okay. Come on up. You are all wondering why we had so many kids in the audience today. Come on up. We're going to hold that in front of you here for a few seconds, and let's show them first, and then we'll turn around and show the audience. All right, I need everybody stand behind the and then move your way out that way. All right, does everybody see the Arbor Day? So this was made with handprints and painted and created. We also have our Tree City USA flag that's also here today that we want to show off. Okay, so everybody, the board got to see it. So now we're going to go up to the front and turn around so that the audience can see it. These PATH students and counselors will have a number of learning and craft opportunities to better understand trees and what they bring to the community. I would also like to thank Chuck Dombrowski, who is leading the organization right now, who is here tonight. He is the lead foreman of parks, and he is the village arborist. And he helps both the village and residents in identifying and helping to ensure that our urban forest remains strong. Thank you to Chuck, his staff, and all those that help us become a tree city. At this time, I would ask the board to join us in a couple of pictures to celebrate. So if I could get the board to stand behind here and we could get some pictures, that would be excellent.
Big smiles.
All right. Nope, that's good. You got them.
Good? Yep, looks great. Look right here. 1, 2, 3. Get one more. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Awesome. All right. Thank you again. Thank you to the parents who brought everybody out tonight for doing that. And thank you, Mayor and Board, for allowing us to have that presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Keith and team. All you did good job, you know.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let you know, there's a J. Sterling Morton. It's named high school in Cicero, Illinois, Morton East, and there's also a Morton West.
Okay, very good. So named after that.
J. Sterling Morton. No, I graduated from that school.
Son played football.
We now go on to public discussion of agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda items? None? You have the consent agenda before you. Would Acting Village Administrator Doug Flint please read the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mayor.
You will.
Number 1, approval of the regular board meeting minutes of April 7th, 2022. Number 2, approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of April 7th, 2022. Number 3, approval of the accounts payable listing, April 21st, 2022, in the amount of $1,777,991.44. 4, an ordinance to approve and authorize the annual appropriation ordinance of the Village of Glendale Heights. Number 5, ordinance reserving and authorizing a transfer of volume cap in connection with private activity bond issues and related matters. Number 6, a resolution to approve and authorize execution of the Fourth Amendment, the amended and restated municipal contract for residential curbside and containerized municipal solid waste, recycling and yard waste collection services by and between the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois, and Allied Waste Services of North America, LLC, doing business as Republic Services in Mount Prospect, from the 4/7/2022 COW. Number 7, a resolution repealing the Village of Glendale Heights Administrative Policy 2022-03 and adopting the Village of Glendale Heights Administrative Policy 407 AP regarding motor vehicle records program. Number 8, resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for the Klein Creek Stream Restoration Project, reaches 5, 6, and 7. Number 9, a resolution to approve and authorize the execution of agreement between the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois, and Christopher B. Burke Engineering for the furnishing of professional construction engineering services for the Klein Creek Stream Restoration Project, reaches 5, 6, and 7. 10, a resolution awarding contracts and authorizing the issuance of a notice of awards for the 2022 roadway construction materials for the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. 11, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for 2022 roadway asphalt materials for the Village of Glendale Heights. 12, a motion to approve pay request number 7 to Joseph J. Henderson and Son Incorporated for the digester rehabilitation project, a total amount not to exceed $585,918.26. It's attorney approved. 13, a motion to approve pay request number 8 to Utility Service Company, Inc. for the Glen Ellen Road Water Tower Storage Tank Rehabilitation and Maintenance Project, in the total amount not to exceed $34,303.44. That's attorney approved. 14, a motion to approve pay request number 6 to Utility Service Company for the Brandon Road Water Tower Storage Tank Rehabilitation and Maintenance Project, total amount not to exceed $77,996. That's also attorney approved. 15, a motion to approve pay request number 5 to Utility Service Company for the East Burdette Water Tower Storage Tank Rehabilitation and Maintenance Project, total amount not to exceed $34,561, attorney approved. 16, motion to pay request number 3 to Utility Service Company, Inc. for the West Burdette Water Tower Storage Tank Rehabilitation and Maintenance Project, total amount not to exceed $296,463. That's also attorney approved. 17, motion to pay request number 2 to Visu Sewer for the North Avenue I&I Repairs Project, total amount not to exceed $257,806.73. It's attorney approved. 18, motion to approve pay request number 11 to Klaus Brothers for the Camera Park Improvement Project, total amount not to exceed $146,125.57. It's attorney approved. 19 is approval of consent items.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Yes, Mr. Smith.
I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second, trustee Siddiqui. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Old business, there is none. New business, there is a request to waive first reading on new business item 2 to 6. Is there a motion to waive first reading on new business items 2 to 6? Motion, trustee Pojek.
So
Second,
moved.
Second.
second trustee Light. He was first, sorry. Discussion. None, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
First reading is waived on new business 2 to 6. Number 2, an ordinance to amend section 1-5-4 entitled Office Hours of Chapter 5 entitled Official and Administrative Provisions of Title 1 entitled Administration of the Municipal Code of Ordinances of the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI. First reading is waived. This is Ordinance 2022-32. Is there a motion to waive Ordinance 2022-32?
Well, we waived it. Is there a motion to approve?
I thought we had just read.
We already
So-
waived first reading, so
yeah,
now there's a motion to approve.
Oh,
That's what you need is a motion.
we need a motion to approve on this, First, trustee Light,
So moved.
second trustee Schroeder.
So moved.
Thank you. Discussion. A roll call.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-32 is approved. Number 3, an ordinance amending the personnel policy manual of the Village of Glendale Heights related to definitions and personal leave. First reading is waived. This is Ordinance 2022-33. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 2022-33? First, Mary Schroeder.
So
Second,
moved.
Second.
trustee Schmidt. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-33 is approved. Number 4, an ordinance rejecting all bids for the purchase of liquid cation- cationic polymer for use at the wastewater treatment plant. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-33. 34. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-34? First, trustee Schroeder.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
trustee Pat Maritato. Is there a motion to approve? Just on, discussion, please. Yes,
Quick question, what is the actual
Cationic.
yes, cationic polymer used for at the treatment plant? Hard to say.
I can answer that. It's to add to the effluent so that the flock, there's like a flock produced, and it allows the effluent to be cleaned and processed, continued on through the filtering system.
Okay,
It's an additive that's put in the wastewater stream to help clean it,
coagulates the muck, got it.
something like
Okay.
that.
anybody else? A roll call vote, please.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-34 is approved. 5, an ordinance to amend section 4-13-3 entitled Number of Licenses of Chapter 3 entitled Liquor Control of Title 4 entitled Business and Licenses Registration of the Village Code of Village of Glendale Heights, LNI Liquor License, Hannah's Lounge. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-35. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-35? Trustee Schmidt,
So moved.
trustee Pojek,
Second.
discussion. None, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-35 is approved. Number 6, an ordinance to waive bids and accept the proposal of Schroeder's and Schroeder Incorporation for the 2022 sidewalk removal and replacement program and authorize the execution of a contract by and between Schroeder and Schroeder Incorporation and the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-36. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-36? Trustee Mary Tato.
So moved.
Trustee Siddiqui, second. Roll call vote, please. Discussion. Yes. Ms. Pojek, you have a question?
Yeah. Let's see, this is for Joanne. What streets are gonna be done?
That would be Rachel.
Oh, Rachel.
The streets to be done, Chester, are actually in the packet, and it's West Wrightwood Avenue,
What is it?
West Wrightwood Avenue,
Okay,
Wrightwood Courts,
okay,
Belden Avenue,
all right.
Friedrich Street.
How long will it take them to do that?
They're fairly quick. They've been doing this work for the last 3 or 4 years for the village, and they've been very quick, but they tend to do it towards the end of summer. So I would think the actual contract is probably a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks' work.
All right, thank you.
Trustee Light.
Pat, I know we discussed this before, you and I talked about in-house program. Is this something that in your experience with all your concrete, that is this something that in-house couldn't even do anything with or help with, or?
No, we couldn't, we got enough work ourselves, right, for the streets, for
Well,
the
the-
in-house program?
The in-house road program itself, we replace the majority or look at the sidewalk and the curb line on all the in-house streets. So that is in more or less a sidewalk program, the in-house street program. So this is in addition to.
Right.
Okay, just checking when we talked about it.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-36 is approved. 7, presentation by CMAP regarding the development of a bicycle and pedestrian plan for the village of Glendale Heights. Ms. Rachel.
Yeah, so Diana Martinez from CMAP is here to give a presentation on the pedestrian and bicycle path suggested in the Village Glendale Heights.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, board members, and residents of Glendale Heights. Thank you so much for hosting me tonight. My name is Diana Martinez, and I am a planner with CMAP, also known as the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning. This evening, I will be presenting on the proposed bicycle and pedestrian plan for the village. The project team, I will be supporting the village with the project development and management. The team will also comprise of a consulting firm that is still to be determined. CMAP has a pool of pre-selected consulting firms that have experience working in the region and, more importantly, have worked on a variety of bicycle and pedestrian plans. The consultant will be assigned after the approval of the intergovernmental agreement that is presented to you today. Tonight's agenda will cover who is CMAP, what is the overview of the agency, and why this work is important to us, the project timeline, as well as what you could expect from the team, preliminary key issues that we've discussed with village staff and partners, and lastly, next steps. So who is CMAP, you may ask? We are the regional planning agency for Northeastern Illinois. Since we were created in 2005, CMAP serves Northeastern Illinois counties of Cook, DuPage, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties. The agency and its partners have developed and are now implementing onto 2050 a new long-range plan to help the 7 counties and 284 municipalities of Northeastern Illinois to implement strategies that address transportation, housing, economic development, open space, the environment, and other quality of life issues. So why partner with CMAP? The project is low cost to the village. In 2015, CMAP established a policy to require a local contribution for planning assistance. The financial contribution has helped demonstrate local commitment and increase local ownership of the projects. The village's local contribution was set at $15,000 for this project. CMAP is strongly committed to implementation, and we will provide you a roadmap of how to implement the bicycle and pedestrian plan. Since the program's creation, CMAP has funded over 200 projects, helping build local capacity and engage marginalized groups, empower local governments to develop solutions for difficult community challenges, make critical decisions, and connect local partners to implementing agencies and capital funding for infrastructure developments. You may be also asking, what is a bicycle and pedestrian plan? A bicycle and pedestrian plan establishes a roadmap for how to improve and encourage walking and cycling in and around the community. It also engages the community and examines data to identify opportunities and challenges. It identifies specific improvements such as infrastructure policy and programs to be made in the short, medium, and long term. Details will also be included in the plan, including funding, staffing, and other components of the project to deliver the overall plan. In addition, it also helps evaluate existing and planned bicycle and key pedestrian facilities. It identifies a complete connected network of bikeways that will allow residents to access key destinations such as the Great Western Trail and the East Branch of the DuPage Forest Preserve District. It will also identify key pedestrian improvements and strategies to increase pedestrian safety, comfort, and convenience. And finally, it will update roadway designs for speed management, pedestrian and cyclist safety, and conflict reduction. What will the plan look like? The actual appearance, length, and other deliverables will vary based on the process, local issues and opportunities, and as well as the consultant that is chosen to do this work. But you should expect a polished, professional level report on existing conditions, issues, opportunities, and identified improvements with some implementation and funding guidance. The plan will also be a valuable tool to attracting local funding, local, state, and federal funding. Project timeline, the project will approximately last 18 months with the hope of wrapping up in summer 2023. You should expect the following deliverables: a community and outreach strategy that will be used to solicit and consider feedback from a wide audience and incorporate their guidance in the plan. You will also receive an existing conditions report that summarizes key factors influencing plan recommendations. In addition, a key recommendation memo will be provided that identifies draft recommendations and provides a brief discussion of why these recommendations are being considered. And the bicycle and pedestrian plan will contain recommendations for all relevant policy areas, including support text, charts, maps, and other graphics explaining how these recommendations were developed and why they are important for the future. And lastly, a project identification memo with possible funding opportunities. So far, what we've heard from conversations with village staff is that the village needs to connect to a regional trail system. It needs to create a safe environment for bicyclists and pedestrians and form a stronger presence of active transportation advocates. We will focus on improving bicycle network throughout the community by identifying strategies for pedestrians crossing safe routes to school. Next steps. We will be procuring a consultant, as mentioned earlier, that should last from May to June of this year. Following the board approval, our team will meet with the staff and comb through the scoping details. We will begin developing an outreach plan to ensure we engage the community's diverse population and launch a project website to keep the community informed and up to date with the project. And we hope to kick off this plan in summer of this year. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Welcome. Any question?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
Let me ask you a couple of questions, Diana. Who invited you here in the first place?
Yes, the Department of Public Works applied to our local technical assistance program.
And how much will a consultant cost this project?
We don't know the exact number, but the village only has to pay a small fee of $15,000 compared to what the whole project would cost, which is still not determined.
And who's going to maintain the roadway and the bicycle paths and that?
That would be the village, Chester. That's something that we would have to incorporate and do as part of the plan.
Do all the streets have to be painted and marked, and who's going to do all that?
The reason why this came about really is because we are rehabilitating West Fullerton Avenue in 2024, and that's one of the main arterial roads in the village. And we discussed it as a group with the previous administrator, Mike Maron, about a bicycle path being planned. And we were encouraged to apply for this assistance through CMAP to give us this feasibility study. So we would have a roadmap of what we were going to do in the future.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Smith, please. Mr. Smith.
Doug, was this, anything about the bicycle paths included as part of the NIU survey?
No, I honestly, until a week ago or so, I didn't know this was going on.
So
It happened under Mike, when Mike was here, and this kind of just came to evolution the last couple of weeks.
Okay, so we have no idea whether there's a great groundswell for or against this type of project out there?
No.
Okay.
Trustee Light.
Part of the roads, we have so few roads that are actually, we're responsible for. Would this take care of North Avenue problems, bridges across per se, or?
The feasibility report, which is what this would be, would analyse the surrounding communities and what bike paths they had and see what connectivity we could make to do that.
Or see if the state would cough up the cash to
Yeah,
put a
or
bridge over.
what was existing there, like on Schmale Road, there's a bike path designated out there. So West Fullerton Avenue and East Fullerton would be a good way of having the bike path in there. So that's what they're going to analyse, is the surrounding communities and what we can connect to.
We only have a few streets that we could do that with, Fullerton being one of them. I just did that analyze, that's free.
I think there's opportunities to connect the center of Glendale Heights along the railroad area, because that's a straight path right to Glen Ellen Road across the entire community. That my vision anyway, as I've read this, connecting the parts of the community to the center of town, and then a path leading towards the East Branch Forest Preserve that has recreation opportunities and paths that are already there, and somehow figuring out ways of connecting trails and sidewalks and streets to a central area that provides a pathway through the village to connect to Schmale Road, to connect to, as far as south to the Great Western Trail. So I think that's the concept, is to try to figure out how to make our open areas and other areas that we have access to better use for pedestrian and bikes, to connect to the more recreation areas we have at the East Branch Forest Preserve and at the Great Western Trail.
And also, one of the things we're trying to do is get them to the parks and have an ability to get people to some of the areas that are already there that people bike around in the first place.
I was just want to add as well is Diana was good enough to give an example of the Arlington Heights plan, and it was over 150 pages, and it looked like a $100,000 feasibility report. So what she's asking for is for $15,000 to do this feasibility to see how we would connect in the future.
Trustee Maritato.
It sounds like a great idea, but I mean, all this information I'm getting right now is right now. And I see number 8, and I mean, I have to find out where that money's going. I mean, it's only $15,000, but I mean, I want to know what kind of plan this is before it comes to the board, and I have to vote on something that I don't know anything about.
I agree.
So that's, I don't know how the rest of you guys feel, and ladies, but
Is there
I mean,
a
that's my
document
opinion.
that CMAP has of a study that was already done that we could show the board at a future board meeting date?
Is the one that was done for Arlington Heights?
So that they can see what the end result would be?
Yeah, we can provide that, and we have a couple examples that we've discussed already, but more than happy to share additional information, as well as how the formula of that 15,000, how that was designated to your village.
So,
Trustee Pojek and then Trustee Smith.
Dave, I have a question for you. Is it too late to have this added to the survey with NIU?
Yeah, it is too late.
It is too late?
They've gone out. Most of them have gone out.
All right, thank you.
Trustee Siddiqui.
yeah, so is this 15,000 is just for the feasibility, and then later on there are more?
No, that is for the complete plan and all the deliverables that were outlined in the presentation,
Oh, okay.
including
So-
the
So
existing.
the rest amount is going to be subsidized by, I think,
By
Illinois
us,
State?
correct, yes. We are a transportation agency that supports northeastern Illinois, so we get our funds through federal transportation dollars.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Pojek, do you have? No. Okay. Done? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice presentation. Thank you. Number 8,
So
yes,
if I could, Mayor, I would,
go ahead.
based on the communication from the board, I would make a recommendation to table this to a future board meeting.
That's our intention, because that's the number 8.
Yeah.
That's why I was gonna make table it,
There you go, okay.
because we need a lot more information. This is,
Okay.
we were blindsided tonight.
So it's a table, any motion?
You have to read number 8.
Number 8. A resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement with Chicago Metropolitan Agency for planning technical assistance services for the development of a bicycle and pedestrian plan for the village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. This is resolution 2022-R-48. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2022-R-48? Pojek.
We're gonna table this for further information.
So you're asking for a motion to table?
Yes.
Yes, second.
I'll second.
Trustee Light, second.
Do we need a
No
time?
discussion, it's-
Or do we need a date to table that with?
We do it to the next meeting, correct? Is that
May
right?
5th.
We'd like to have some information in front of us, some documents or something.
Okay,
Maybe we'll get- It'll be on the agenda next meeting. It's
Okay.
tabled, and then if somebody wishes to remove it off the table, we
Okay.
can make a motion at that time.
Perfect.
We'll have we can have information by then?
The study is available.
Okay.
Sent to me.
Since there is a motion to table, there is no discussion, so it'd be a
Roll
roll call.
roll call. Roll call.
Trustee
Vote, please.
Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
So motion for table is approved. Number 9. A presentation up to date of wastewater treatment plant disaster rehabilitation project. Ms. Rachel, please.
Yeah, Chris Marshinky from Trotter and Associates is here to give an update on the digester rehabilitation projects.
Good evening, board, staff, mayor. As Rachel mentioned, I'm Chris Marshinky with Trotter and Associates, just here to give an update on the village's wastewater treatment facility capital project for the digester rehabilitation. And it's only a couple of slides. I promise we'll be brief here. Just a recap of what that project entails. Primarily, it is bringing the village's second offline digester back into service. It's been offline for, I believe, about 30 years now. And to comply with EPA requirements in the village's NPDES permit, we have to bring that back into service. So the picture you see is the offline digester, basically a concrete base and steel walls with the online digester immediately adjacent to it. It also includes replacement of aeration blowers and some sludge conveyance equipment. So project progress, we are currently in week 38 of construction of a 65-week substantial completion timeline right now. The underground piping is complete. The blower installation, and I'll show a couple pictures of that in a second, is complete. The structural rehabilitation of the digester is largely complete, and I'll touch on that in just a second. The next major steps that will be going on over the next month or so is the polyurethane lining on the interior of that digester to give it a chemical resistance so that it lasts another 20 to 30 years. So that's going to be going on probably over the next month or so here. Following that, there's going to be piping installation and everything actually going into the digester to make it operational. On the timeline, one thing that has come up recently, the procurement issue on the aluminum geodesic dome, which the picture on the bottom is an example of what a geodesic dome is. That's the village's digester #1 with a dome on top of it that basically encloses it. So we've been made aware of a supply issue on that geodesic dome. So we're working with village staff and the contractor to identify alternatives for that. Probably to resource that one, but that is, as of right now, the only procurement or material issue that we're aware of. So other than that, most of the equipment is already on site, so we've crossed that threshold of major delays from some of this ancillary equipment. The pictures on the right, you're just looking inside the digester itself with the walls on either side of you. So on the left-hand side picture is prior to any of the coating or anything on those walls following the abrasive blasting that went in. And on the right is just the current state of it, which is a primed and ready for liner digester. Administrative items, change order number 1 is the next board agenda item. It includes several modifications to the project, primarily dealing with steel repair of that digester. It's for just under $8,400 and no time extension associated with that. So the concrete repair is largely patching of that existing digester, where following the abrasive blasting, we found areas that the steel is deteriorating. So essentially, during design, we did the inspection. We found a number of areas that either required repair or replacement or supports, things of that nature. That's all been done and has been completed. Now the coating contractor has gone in and done an abrasive blasting of all of that steel. As part of that, they essentially blast away any areas that have surface scale. And if it looks like any of that steel is starting to corrode through there, we'll usually put plates and weld new plates up to it. So that's probably about 90% of the cost associated with that one is in steel repair and concrete repair. The last thing I have for you, just a couple more pictures to give you an idea of what we're talking about with this project. So on the left-hand side are the blowers, which are really just air blowers. But for a sense of scale, each of those 3 boxes that you're looking at the side are about 7 feet tall, 7 feet wide, and 10 feet deep. Each of them can supply about 5,000 cubic feet per minute of air. And that provides all of the aeration to the 2 digesters necessary for that biological process to operate and those microorganisms to grow. On the right-hand side, you're just looking at the trench where the air main is running through. Its 16-inch diameter stainless steel piping. There's 2 of them going essentially right down the sole access road through the middle of the wastewater plant. So it has included quite a bit of coordination between village staff and the contractor to make sure we maintain that roadway in good shape and open as needed to maintain operations. And I think that is everything I had for you on that one. If there's any questions?
When you say that the rods, when they blast it, sandblast it, if they're bad, you put a plate?
Yes.
What do you mean by a plate? Would they?
Physically a steel plate. So if there's an area when they're blasting and we say, okay, you're down to half the thickness remaining of that steel wall there, we'll physically cut out that corroded portion of it, plasma torch it out, and then put a steel plate over it and weld that steel plate.
And that's good enough?
Yes. Yep. There are a couple of them where there's bracing as part of, there's supports. You can kind of see there's 4 parallel C channels on the inside of the walls there. There's some of those that needed repair as well. So that was actually cutting out C channel and re-welding C channel in there. That'll be required as part of that. But for the most part, it's cutting out the bad areas and replacing it in kind, essentially.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned you were having problems getting the dome. Is it finding somebody to fabricate it, or is it material?
So what it sounds like is it's all stemming from a material issue that, and this is kind of across the board, that manufacturers aren't able to get the raw materials for most of the equipment that they're supplying. So that's what it sounds like, that it was a raw material procurement issue that eventually led to this, and now we're trying to resource it from different places that can actually supply it. Going into the project, that was one of our primary concerns. Obviously, through the pandemic, we know procurement issues are all over the place. So I think we feel good that the other equipment is either already on site or is in fabrication and things like that. So we don't have any raw material issues outside of that one.
Do you have an option of using something like a ferrous dome with a elastomer liner in there to prevent corrosion and not be tied to a specific type of fabrication?
Yes, so we primarily looked at either geodesic aluminum domes or fiberglass domes. We could go with a ferric-based one. It would be significantly more expensive, primarily due to this being an EPA SRF loan project. That dome, if it was ferrous, would be subject to American iron and steel requirements, which we are having more issues with. Sourcing currently steel, domestic steel, is very difficult to get. But that is one of the options that was reviewed during design was some of the available materials for this one. The fiberglass is an option, but it, believe it or not, deteriorates more than an aluminum dome would. It would start chalking and has a shorter lifespan than an aluminum dome would. And this is something that, you know, these domes last 50 years. So we want to get the best product there. If it takes a little bit longer, I think we'd still probably recommend going with an aluminum dome in this application. One of the things you mentioned was if you went ferric or some of those things, it would require a liner just because this is a heavily corrosive atmosphere inside of this digester that's processing sludge, essentially.
Any other question? None? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 10, a resolution authorizing the execution of change order number 1 for the wastewater treatment plant digester rehabilitation project in the village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. This is resolution 2022-R-49. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2022-R-49? Trustee Light.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Trustee Schmidt, second. He was first, you know. Discussion. None. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Resolution 2022-R-49 is approved. We now go on to public discussion of agenda item. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on agenda item? Yes. Your name, please, and
Good evening. My name is Rick Serber. I'm the ASME union rep for ASME Local 3768, the Village of Glendale Heights employees. I've spoken to the board before. Just have a question on item 3, ordinance 2022-33. Doug, could you describe what the changes to the personal policy manual?
Yeah, it's a change that, non-union personnel, non-union personnel, we've changed our policy to reflect, the ability to take personal time in 15-minute increments like the unions can. We define seniority, define promotion position date. That's it.
Thank you.
there is no executive session. I need motion to adjourn. Trustee Schmidt and Trustee Siddiqui.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned. Trustee Pojek, you have the committee of the whole meeting.
Yes, I do. I'd like to call this committee of the whole meeting for Thursday, April 21st, 2022 to order. Would the clerk please know who's present?
Noted.
Thank you. Does anybody have any additions or deletions from the board or the staff? Mary?
National Prayer Day.
Okay, Pat?
Easter.
Easter?
Yeah.
Mr. Siddiqui?
Hide. Hide and seek or hide?
Oh, hide and seek.
Yeah.
We can play games or what?
That's what we've been doing here.
Anybody else? All right, committee recommendations, there are none. Discussion, anybody from the public want to make a comment? Oh, yeah. I need your full name and address, and there's a 5-minute limit.
Christopher Epstein, Club Drive, Glendale Heights.
And your address.
That is my address, Club Drive.
And there's no number?
We weren't told.
Yes, sir, that's sufficient.
Pat, the deputy mayor was telling me he needs an address.
We don't need addresses?
No. It's not a requirement to give your address. So
Oh, I didn't know that. I should have known that at the last meeting.
Yes.
Thank you, Peter.
All
The
right,
only
you're
thing
all
that I
set.
have to want to bring up is the indemnification ordinance for elected officials. We've never had one in the past number of years. Why do we need to bring it up right now?
Can you rephrase that?
Why do we need number 2 now when we haven't had it since the village incorporation?
Number 2, I don't know.
What is number 2?
The discussion regarding indemnification ordinance for elected officials.
Doug, can you answer that?
I was just gonna say, it's an agenda item, and it's public comment, so if you did not want to respond, you can talk about it when the agenda item is up, so. He's asking a question why we need it, that could be maybe discussed when you talk about it, there's no need to actually address it, but you may address it if you wish.
I like to address it, get it over with. Doug, can you answer that question? I'm putting you on a spot.
At the last board meeting, trustee Light asked Mayor Coker if there was proceedings against Marie Schmidt. There really wasn't an answer. The board asked Peter and the attorney's office to review ordinances that indemnify elected officials. Our current ordinance for indemnification is only of employees. It's the opinion of the attorneys that elected officials are not employees. So if an elected official is sued by anybody for pretty much anything, they're not covered if they haven't done anything wrong. So because they're not considered employees, the board asked our village attorney's office to research indemnification of elected officials. So that's where we're at today.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug. Does that answer your question?
Not entirely. It's basically seems like a dance around. We've had it, since this village was incepted. We've gotten away with not having it. Why offer it at this particular time? Another cost to our taxpayers as usual for this type of protection. We're going to have to pay for insurance or whatever. And I think if somebody's doing something bad, we've had a number of bad apples in this village in the past, including a previous, before I was even here, that we need to make sure that the village isn't putting the bill for wrongdoings and things like that, so.
So this, just for the record, this doesn't cost anything.
Okay.
There's only a cost incurred if an elected official is sued.
Well, but if we don't have that, I mean, if we do have an elected official sued, then it will cost the village something, will it not?
Sure, but that's
Right.
never happened either.
Well, my feelings are, why are we even putting this in there from that particular standpoint? Because it's just opening up the door to an additional potential liability down the road. And I think anybody that's up here, if they're not doing anything wrong, they shouldn't have to worry about it. And in reality, why should the village be paying for something if they're doing something wrong?
But what if they didn't?
Then that would be a thing to bring up, I think, on an individual basis versus.
Right, but right now, if an elected official was sued punitively for something they didn't do wrong, they're not covered.
Normally, won't you do that in the courts, basically, with regards to whether somebody
They would
is,
have to hire their own attorney to defend themselves.
all right, then we can reimburse them if there's a situation. I don't want just a flat out, we're going to be paying for legal fees for somebody?
No, there's rules on it. It can't be criminal conduct. Right?
Okay,
It can't be malicious or willful or wanton conduct on behalf of the elected official.
okay. All right, as long as there's,
No,
situations.
there's certain parameters, and any of that would have to be approved by the village attorney's office before it was said that, yeah, it's okay for the elected official to be indemnified.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, Doug, thank you for clarifying that, okay? Anybody else? Okay.
Okay, skip number 2, then go number 1.
Glendale Heights Fest, Keith, you're up next.
That's me. So at the last meeting, we had some discussion on Glendale Heights Fest, and I said that at this meeting, we'd have to come back and make some final decisions on 2 specific areas, the hours and the fireworks. And so at this point, I'm looking for some direction. I'll just do a quick reminder of what the situation was. In regards to hours, the hours that have been determined at this point that we'd like for approval are 5 p.m. To 10:30 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. You'll note that there are changes to these times from when I was here last. I did talk to the carnival and discussed with them one of the recommendations, which was maybe opening an hour earlier. They were in favor of that, and that's the adjustments that we made.
So they're okay with that?
They're okay with
No
that.
problems?
There were no issues with the discussion that I had with them.
Okay, Pat?
Chief, what are we doing with security?
We also looked at that too. We're looking at breaking up our security plan. We have one firm in place that can cover, so we're gonna separate it basically by people with security that can carry weapons and security who cannot carry weapons. And the ones who don't carry weapons will be at the gates. The ones that can carry the weapons will be inside the carnival. So we're trying to break it up that way. That's how we can get our numbers up, and that's the best feasible way we can do it. Keith and I sat down, we hashed out a plan for this. We're gonna put it back out to bid. We already have the one company that can be armed. The other company that is not armed at the gate, that's what we're gonna put it out for.
Okay, so we're gonna be covered.
Yes, if somebody could take that, see what happened is the last security company that was really, really good, they are now covering the Sox and Cubs. So we have to find another security firm that would take that. And we did knock down our numbers a lot from last year. Instead of having 4 gates open, we're gonna have 3 gates open, so 3 entries and exits, which will work. It's the gate that doesn't have a lot of traffic is the one we shut down. So by reducing the numbers, we think it should work out.
Okay, good, thank you.
The one gate you have at, by the parking lot, the blacktop, and then over on Fullerton, where's the 3rd gate?
Off of Bloomingdale Road.
Bloomingdale
Off
Road?
of Bloomingdale by the beer,
basketball
by
courts.
the beer
Oh,
tent.
okay,
yeah.
okay.
By the food, yep.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schmidt?
Keith, you said you discussed hours with the carnival people, and they're okay with it. How about the food vendors?
The food vendor meeting is upcoming, so we have not had that conversation. That'll be something that we have when we meet with them. The information on the for the food vendors is going out tomorrow, hopefully after we have this discussion, so that they know in advance where we're at.
Yeah.
Anybody? Mr. Siddiqui?
Yeah, actually, by the way, I do receive an email from residents, because since it's in my district, and they are in the favor of closing down early, starting early because of the noise and all that. So that's a good option you present. Thank you.
When you're gonna close down early, that includes the band and everything.
Those times are the ending time for the night. The bands will probably close like 15 minutes before that. It's kind of the tradition to kind of work things out, so to speak. That will be the opposite case on Sunday. We'll probably let the music stay on. There will be no band though after fireworks. The event is done.
Okay, so,
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just tossing it out there. Why can't we let the bands shut down the carnival, because that's where it seems a lot of our problems are at, and keep the bands going for the extra hour?
I think that the goal is to get everybody out, and that's the reason why we're closing down early. The bands will be set up. They're generally set up to stop 15 minutes before. That doesn't mean they won't play an encore that gets to the 11 o'clock mark or the 10:30 mark, but we kind of advertise that they're going to end a little earlier, and that.
All right, thank you.
Now I've said it
Keith.
in public, but that's the general rule of thumb.
You're still gonna have fireworks on Wednesday and Saturday.
That's item number
Sunday.
2 after we agree to item number 1.
Okay.
So can I take it that everybody is good with those hours? All
I
right,
would say so.
okay,
What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Yeah? All right.
perfect. Okay, we will start advertising that and getting that information out. The second item was fireworks. If everybody remembers, we had 2 proposals, one for $35,000 and one for $38,500. The $38,500 would cover Wednesday and Sunday. The $35,000, if you wanted to stay with one day, we would just have them add what used to be in Wednesday into Sunday and make it a bigger, more robust show. We would still try to keep the time down to that 24-minute mark, which is the recommendation of our new vendor. And I've been assured that the performance and the show will be something that everybody likes. I did say at the last meeting I was going to bring back 2 options for you to vote on tonight. And Mr. Passione is way smarter than I am and said, why are we wasting money on 2 ordinances? Why don't you get direction and then we'll bring that back to you next time. So I only have to do 1.
Okay.
So you will see the actual contract at the next meeting based on what you determine today, because I will get that finalized with the company. So I just need direction on if we're going to do Wednesday and Sunday at a cost of $38,500 or only Wednesday at a cost of $35,000.
Well, it's up to the
Oh,
board.
Only
I'm sorry.
Sunday.
Sunday, sorry.
No Wednesday, just Sunday.
Just Sunday.
So is there a difference of like the 35,000? If let's say if you want to go with 1, then that would be like a bigger than comparing to the 38,500 in which we
So
are.
yeah, so in the past, what we have done is there is an allocation. They present us a show that is approximately 11 to 12 minutes for Wednesday, and then a show that's longer, obviously, on Sunday. And what we would do is take the money from Wednesday, put it into Sunday, and boost that up. The recommendation from the fireworks vendor was they could put on a good show, but they can put on a Glendale Heights show if they combine those. If you want to do both shows, the recommendation was another 10% might get us to where we need to be to make sure that we sustain the level that's expected of us.
Yeah, because I like 1 big show, because we also have to think about the residents around there, because they are elderly people who don't want to get disturbed, and those fireworks really create some noise. So the 1 option, I think I will go with 1 option.
I
The
think
one with
Sunday
the-
would be good
with
for
the-
everybody.
yeah,
Plus, it's gonna help the security.
yes.
Yes.
Right.
You don't have to have that extra security on Wednesday and Sunday.
Yes. Correct.
So I'm thinking about that too, so. So everybody in favor of Sunday?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
Opposed?
Hey, wait,
Oh, wait, Pat's got something to say.
I'm just wondering about the vendors, because Wednesday is a big night for the vendors because of the fireworks. We don't have fireworks on Wednesday. Vendors are gonna be kind of hurting if they find out there's not fireworks on a Wednesday.
So all that will be also discussed. We'll put that in the information that we put out to them. If we start getting some discussion on that, we have an option. We charge a set price. We might need to look at that price. We actually increased it this year. So we might have to look at going back to what we were before.
So you'll have everything for us next meeting.
I will have the fireworks part of that, and you actually don't get to see the vendors until June. Yeah, it's like June 7th, but we'll have a meeting with them before we finalize that as well.
Yeah, I'm okay for one night. Sundays is good for me, but I'm just thinking about the vendors and.
Okay. So I will contact the vendor and do a 1 show on Sunday, and we'll start putting that out as well, with David and Nicole and everybody else.
Chief, you're okay with Sunday only then, right, for security?
Sunday is really good. Thank you.
Save you guys some money.
A lot of headaches, yes.
Headaches?
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
very good. All right, let's see, senior center updates. Doug?
So, I just want to update everybody.
Canceled it.
Well,
Number
do we,
two?
we still need to, like, whether to go forward with the indemnification or not.
Yes.
So I think we still need to talk about that too.
You want to talk about number 2 still?
Well, I mean, there may not be as
We
many
didn't- we didn't
details,
make-
but whether to proceed or not.
I thought Doug explained everything.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Well, what the board needs to do is give direction to Peter and us to draft a model ordinance that you can review.
Peter, can you draft a model ordinance we can review?
If that's what you want me to do.
I would like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Doug, you mean we had nothing on our books regarding that at all, period?
Not for elected officials, no.
No, we have, you know.
We have it for employees, but it does not cover elected officials. The discussion was to expand it and maybe even be more specific in that section.
So you'll draft something up then?
Correct.
Well, let's make it
And
clear.
there are other municipalities that have elected officials covered under indemnification.
Oh, really?
Not just employees, but elected officials are as well.
Just, let's make it clear. I mean, that's for the board and the mayor. I mean, that's,
No, it's for everybody.
that's the whole board.
Yeah,
All the way across, yes.
Okay.
It's the whole purpose of it is for the board, the mayor's part of the board.
Yes.
The board is the board. It's the whole purpose is collectively together, any person who's not covered as an employee is covered under that indemnification.
Right. I couldn't do the opposite. I can't pick and choose.
Okay.
It's everybody.
Fine.
So you'll come up with something you'll draft for the next board meeting then?
Yes.
Correct. We'll get you an ordinance.
Okay, very good, thank you. Do we have to vote on it, or is that,
No, it's just for discussion and direction. That's all.
okay, very good. So number 2 is taken care of. Now we got senior center updates. Doug?
So I wanted to update everybody on the senior bus. We have applications in for bus drivers. We will be doing interviews and such probably early next week. And hopefully we have the bus up and running 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 9 to 1 within the next week to 10 days. So that's the goal. So we will be able to get seniors to grocery stores, to doctor's appointments, and maybe most importantly, to bingo on Wednesdays.
Yeah, well, bingo on Wednesdays.
So that should be up soon.
Does our budget cover all that now?
Well, it will.
It will.
It doesn't today, but it will in the
Oh,
future.
okay, well, just wanted to clarify that before somebody asks some questions.
And then today, Keith and Nicole met with our architects. You remember we received a grant for $350,000 from DCO for expansion or improvements to the senior center. We've been working with our architects, FGM, to design. They sent some designs out a couple weeks ago. They came out today so we could talk numbers. We got some cutting to do.
Yes, we do.
350 doesn't go far to remodel stuff, especially in today's world. So we have a meeting tomorrow, and I think we'll meet again next week. But we have some proposals that we'll bring to the board to discuss on renovating the senior center for storage, for office space, new carpeting, updating of everything. It is 12 years old now, so it's time to update, you know, the inside and expand for much-needed storage. So we'll be bringing that forward. Probably next board meeting, we'll have something for you to look at.
Keith, you know.
Go ahead.
Are they still thinking about putting the storage outside by the patio?
So we actually got two proposals. We got two proposals. One for storage outside by the patios, and one that's an addition to the back.
You're not gonna eliminate the patios.
No, so
Go ahead.
the storage would be from the side doors back under the canopy. So not taking that back area where the gas grills are at and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
It would take that area from the back patio door to the back of the building up if we went that route. along with other storage ideas inside the building. The secondary proposal is to expand the senior center to the back. So there's room behind the senior center to build a new structure. If you think of the inside of the senior center, from the bathrooms to the end of the building, about 10 feet back, 12 feet back, the whole
Actually,
length.
15.
15 feet. So 15 feet by the length of that building from the bathrooms to the end. And
Okay,
Is that gonna be storage then?
it's
or-
so office space, storage, mainly storage. So that's one of the design plans. That's what I would choose, honestly.
I would think that going in the back of the building, because nobody sees it. I mean, if you hang it out by the patio, you got the, we got the grill there cooking, I mean, that's gonna look. So is it cheaper going on the
No.
front or the
Oh,
back?
No. So
It's definitely
So-
not cheaper going backwards.
neither in budget right now. So we have to,
We gotta waste
I
some-
don't know, but I mean, do we have to go to the length of the building in the back?
so we'll have to work with, well, if you want something to be symmetry, yeah, symmetrical, you would. But we're gonna work with the architects. We're gonna bring back some proposals to the board for you to consider in the near future on what's the best plan for the expansion of the senior center and how do we update it the best way. It needs new carpeting. It needs, just updating because
carpeting.
it's 12 years old, right? So we'll bring that plan back to you with a presentation, not the next board meeting, the board meeting after that.
Are you gonna plan on expanding the banquet room a little bit?
No.
No?
I mean, we need
So you're
storage.
gonna go from the patio, from that back door where the kitchen is, back, or from that entrance?
Well, there's,
Cutting the patio in half then?
no, cutting the patio by a quarter,
A quarter,
on the back quarter,
okay, by that
the exit
door
there.
going to the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay, I know where you're at now. That makes sense. Yeah, I got you.
Oh,
I'm not done.
no, I want to talk on this.
Oh,
Okay.
hit me. All right, Mary?
All right. Now, Doug, this area that you're thinking of putting this extra storage, would the employees be able to get into it from inside the building, or would they have to go out of the building to get into that storage area by the
Great
pad?
question. All interior.
All
So
interior?
if we took the patio space and made it storage, right, they would wall it off so that all those tables and chairs that we're storing everywhere now can be wheeled right out in the storage and wheeled right back into the community room, right, from the community room. If we go behind, that storage will be able to connect to the current storage that's already there, and they'll be able to wheel right through and right back.
All right, very good, thank you.
It'll make life easier that way too,
Yes. Pooja.
definitely.
Back to bus driver. Did you get, I gave you phone number of the candidate? I have not been given anything. Okay, so yesterday I talked with a bus driver. He's driving school bus. And I talked with him. He said he wants to work. So I gave her phone number.
He's welcome to submit.
Yeah, you can call him so he can start process. Yeah, thank you.
So I guess we're all through with the senior center updates. It's just don't have to vote on it yet. Golf course banquet, RFP. That's you again, Doug.
So there's a committee that needs to be formed to go over the RFP that's due on April 29th.
Okay.
So Mayor Coker has submitted names. I'm going to read them for the record. Mayor Coker as chairperson, Pat Maritato, Darcy Garza, our purchasing, Jen Farrell, the golf course manager, Bill Poling, our finance director, and Tanzina Chowdhury, a resident. Mayor has proposed those members to be on the golf course RFP review committee. Trustee Meritato has also submitted names prior to Mayor Coker. So,
You want to read those names off, Pat?
Well, go ahead.
Oh, Mike.
I was, sorry, I was gonna ask, what happened to the original, because we had already picked a committee for this already, and it was discussed. Pat had already put together a
Pat was the chairman
committee.
too, wasn't he?
What's that?
I was a chairman.
Yeah,
Pat was the
Pat was
chairman.
chairman on this, and now this is something that's completely new.
I don't know that anything's ever come to the board for approval.
It was discussed at the park, the meeting that we had for the RFP, if I'm not mistaken, that night at the golf course. Wasn't a committee formed on that, Pat, or?
Well,
It was proposed by me at a committee of the whole meeting weeks ago. I don't know which meeting it was at. When we first discussed the RFP for the banquet hall. It was proposed by me to make a committee of Mayor Coker, Trustee Meritato, Darcy Garza, Jen Farrell, and an at-large resident,
Ed Lampy.
Ed Lampke. That was what I suggested maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago at a board meeting. It hasn't been brought up really since that time. It was, really hasn't been discussed at a board meeting that I remember since that time. So there's been conversation, the last couple weeks over who's gonna be on the board, or who's gonna be on this committee.
Well, I don't want to muddy the waters, but I think we should go with the original 5. What does the board think about that?
I agree.
Who were the original ones?
Well, Pat will mention the names,
All right.
just to clarify everything.
When I was a chairman, these are the 5 names that we had at a month ago meeting. These are the 5 names that were brought up. Mayor, myself, Darcy, person's agent, Ed Lankey was a resident, and Jennifer at the golf course. I mean, these are the 5 names that I had back then. So I had a meeting with the mayor, and as of Tuesday, this was okay. He called me up, he wanted to add 2 more names to this, which I'm not the chairman no more. He took over. So he wants to add 2 more names to this.
Why do we need 7?
Wait, I'm explaining it to you.
I can't wait.
He wanted Bill Poland and what was her name?
Tanzina Chowdhury.
Tanzina Chaudhary.
And that person.
Who's that?
She's the same lady who I recommended for police commissioner, and you said we don't know him, know her, we don't know her. She doesn't come to village meetings, so I want to introduce her, so you know she's there and she's coming to village meetings and committee.
I disagree with you on that part, right now. I'm not gonna have that person there that's not familiar with our village, doesn't attend any of our meetings or anything. We need people that are familiar with the village, familiar with the banquet hall, the facility.
You can disagree.
I'm gonna
but
disagree.
I want to give opportunity to new people, and I will.
We need people
I
that-
was new, when I came, I was new.
We need people
And
that
if it's
know
in your
the
hand, you will
banquet
not do it.
facility.
If I could just interject for 1 second. I've reviewed the ordinances regarding appointment of committees. And in the instance of special committees as this would be, the appointment is not by the mayor with advice and consent of the board. The appointment of the committee and its members, along with the chairman, are with a vote jointly of the president and the board of trustees. So the way I interpret that is, it's not advice and consent. So it's not he puts up a name and you guys vote whether you want it or not. I interpret it as the mayor has to also vote for whoever's on the committee and selecting the chairman. And the board, by a majority vote, because it's with the board, would have to also concur with that. So it's a joint vote between the mayor and the board. So unless both the mayor and a majority of the board agree to who's on that committee, that member is not selected.
Can I read this so everybody will understand this? This is special committees. The president and board of trustees voting jointly shall appoint all special committees of the board and the chairpersons thereof. And the president and board of trustees voting jointly shall have the power to remove the members of said committees and the chairperson thereof at any time for any reason.
Correct. So it's not with the advice and consent, it's voting jointly.
Right.
So my interpretation of that is that the mayor has to agree and a majority of the board needs to agree.
And what happens if that doesn't happen?
If there's not a consensus between the mayor and the majority of the board, that person, or even the chairman or the committee itself, will not be formed. And its members will not be appointed.
Peter, do we have to vote on each individual?
Peter, it is a board, president, and board.
Correct.
President is different entity, board is different entity.
For the purposes of this,
Over
yes.
here, both should agree.
Both have to agree.
And
That is
if you
correct.
want, we can, this is a legal issue involved. I mean, I have a lot of respect for you. You have the right, and you are attorney, you know. I want to discuss this,
Yeah.
only this legal stuff, that board and president, these are two different things, you know.
For the purposes of selecting, appointing a
Yes, so
committee, I agree.
My entity is not like corporate agency, board. Is president and board, both have to agree.
Both
President
have
is-
to agree,
yeah.
correct.
So I'm disagreed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you that
Not-
it's the president and the
It's not-
majority of the board.
I am not talking about board, I'm talking entity. President is different entity, board is different entity. So it's one against versus 6 people, you know, 6 trustees, you know.
For the specific
Both
purpose,
have to give their approval, consent, whatever.
for the specific purposes of this particular ordinance and this committee, yes.
Yeah.
You're a
So-
separate, you could be
Yeah, I'm
considered
separate person,
a
right.
separate vote,
Right.
yes.
Now, Peter, do we have to vote on each individual name?
Well, right now, we're just discussing the committee. I don't know, there's no vote because this is only a discussion
Let's
item.
go in the committee
There-
again.
There is no vote that will be taking place
Pat?
today.
So we're going from 5 to 7, right?
No,
Or did you knock off Ed Lanky?
on the mayor's list of who he wants on the committee, Mr. Lamke is not on that. There's 6 members on the mayor's list.
And there is no committee, like, you're talking about this list and that list?
Yeah, so.
Legally, there's no committee and there's no members at this point.
No, what the board needs to do is come to a consensus with the mayor on developing this committee, if they can, and putting something in place so that when this RFP comes up, because, you know, we're not talking about, a basic RFP of equipment. We're talking about a village asset of the banquet hall that the board needs to have input into as to who the new vendor, if there is gonna be one, who takes that over. And the board needs to come to consensus with the mayor on who's gonna be on that committee. So I think that's the goal of this, is to find a consensus on the names of who's gonna be on that committee and who's gonna be the chairperson.
Doug, we have a timeline on this, don't we? Because the RFP is coming up
So
relatively quick.
The RFPs are due April 29th. And I would really like to have a committee prepared, so when the RFPs come in, we can start going through the RFPs and scoring them and working on them, so that we can start working through the process of the banquet hall being turned over to another entity.
So we need a committee really by tonight in order to make this happen?
Well, I mean, that was the goal, is to have a consensus on committee members so that we can bring a resolution back next meeting and codify that committee.
So basically, we have, what we are voting for, or are we gonna be, I mean, there are, what I'm understanding, one committee is headed by mayor, the other one is by deputy mayor.
No, I'm not,
There's no committee
no,
formed.
I got
So
knocked-
what
I
we
got
will be,
knocked off, he took
what
over.
kind of consensus we are talking
me
about
why,
here?
but-
Then is it for the committee or is it for
Appointment of the members.
appointment of the member?
Yes, so
So,
I really wasn't aware of conversations prior.
okay.
And it was my understanding up until not that long ago that the committee, Pat was the chair, Mayor was on it, Darcy was on it, Jen was on it, and Mr. Lamke was on it. The mayor, I'm told now, submitted information to Pat that he wanted to change the committee members. He's the mayor. So there's some common, right? Mayor, trustee Meritato, Darcy, Jennifer are common people amongst four of them, amongst the prior, what we thought was gonna be the made up of the committee, and the mayor's submittal of new members to the committee.
Well, you had Ed Lemke on here originally. He was part of the golf committee. Who's replacing him?
I'm replacing, I don't know anybody.
I'm asking you, I'm asking Pat.
Okay.
I'm not the chairperson no more.
No,
You have to, what?
Was it Bob? What is his name, Bob?
So,
Ed Lamke.
Mr.
Oh,
Lamke,
the new guy?
Mr. Lamke, in the document that the mayor sent to trustee Meritato, remove Mr. Lamke and put Ms. Chowdhury as the resident at large.
Well, I want to keep these five here. I don't want seven. I don't want to go to seven. Does the board like to go to seven or leave it at five? We got to make a decision tonight.
So what you first have to do, I think, is come to a consensus on the mayor, trustee Meritato, Darcy, and Jennifer being on the committee.
And Ed Lamke.
Well, no. First, I think you need to pick the common ones that are on.
Okay, those four.
The prior committee and the committee that the mayor has presented to trustee Meritato. So the common ones are the mayor, trustee Meritato, Darcy, and Jennifer.
Jennifer.
So if you agree on those four, right, then,
Then we need one more.
yeah, so you need you gotta select a chairperson collectively, and you need either a fifth or a seventh. We can't have six.
No, you get five.
Five. Does anybody want to make a
So-
motion to have Coker, Meritato, Garcia, and Jennifer? Bill?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All right, so we
Four of
got
them.
that, now we need one more.
Wait,
Well, wait,
we're not taking any votes. There's no motions. If there's a consensus and you tell me there's a consensus
Okay.
to move forward with that, but this is not an agenda item that we can vote on because it's only up for discussion.
all right.
Yeah, but we did this a month ago with the 5 names that we had.
Never any committee.
Well, no,
formed.
I mean, we didn't vote on it or nothing, but I mean, we went through this. I mean, and I mean, if somebody disagreed, then, say something. But I mean, I don't, right now, I don't know. Right now, I don't even want to be on this committee, to be honest. I mean, this is absolutely crazy, absolutely nuts.
So just to be clear again, any appointments have to be approved by the mayor by his vote.
And the board.
When we get to and then the majority of the board.
Right.
So it's them voting jointly. So if the mayor disagrees, then that person is not gonna be appointed to the committee.
Correct.
So that means,
This is what
so,
ordinance says.
And it's the same thing, there's a separate appointment of the chairman of this committee.
So it's just a repeat of the episode of the police commissioner thing.
No, that's different, That's
Kind
different.
of.
That was different because that was done with the advice and consent.
Okay.
So he threw the appointment forward and the board voted it up or voted it down. In this instance, it's the president and the board voting jointly, so they have to both approve.
Good luck with that. All right.
So we have
that's why I keep records.
four members that I think everybody agrees on.
Right.
They're on both the prior committee and the new one put forth by the mayor.
And then that, just for clarification, it's the mayor, Pat, Darcy, and Jennifer.
Correct.
Right.
Right,
It seems like everybody agrees to those four.
yes.
We just need one more individual.
I also had,
Mike?
sorry. All right, who's chairman then? Where are we at? Pat,
That's something
I'm
separate.
not chairman.
that's
Let's-
separate?
the mayor.
Is that a separate?
That's separate.
Mayor took over.
And again, it's just this,
Well,
it's
the
it's direction more for me of how to prepare
The chairmanship still has to be voted on jointly.
separately, correct?
Yeah, So right now, the fifth person that is out there is Mr. Lamkey or Ms. Chowdhury, who's the resident, or another common name that the board can agree on.
What happened to Bill Poland?
So
He was also named, wasn't he, Mayor?
Yes, I am.
Because I think we should have Bill on there, because he's the,
I changed my name.
if you,
he's the money maker. He knows the figures.
so we can make this simple. If you don't want to have a resident at large, you want Mr. Poling to be on there, then we have five and everybody agrees to the five.
I agree. Anybody else?
We are not voting tonight,
Well, there is no vote, but it's just discussion.
Yeah.
And if, Mayor, if you didn't agree, if you wanted somebody
no,
else,
I
I think,
want,
I think
the
they
list
need to
I
know,
gave,
they need to know.
Yeah, I gave a list, yes, you have, right?
The list that Doug
Yeah,
mentioned.
Yeah, same name, yeah.
Doug,
Right.
you have the list of the four. Let's add Mr. Poling on there.
Wait.
Because we can discuss this till midnight. We gotta end this soon.
No,
Yes, but it's, the mayor has to agree to the appointment as well.
But Mayor is not.
You
I
want
believe.
Mr. Poling?
yeah, I want Mr.
Okay, we got it.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Poling,
Wait,
I
wait.
want Ms. Tanzina,
Hey, he wants to go to 7.
I want Deputy Mayor,
No. We're not gonna go to 7, Mayor.
I am going to 7,
We can outvote you.
Okay, I disagree, I disapprove,
Well, you can
I'm not going to
disapprove.
nominate,
Chester, just for
you can't do,
clarification.
Yeah.
The
Just for
thing is,
clar-
Wait, Pete's
listen,
talking to
listen,
me.
the thing is, you are racist person sitting on this board, you don't want to see any
Hey.
minority person,
Come to my office, you can
Yes.
talk to me.
Don't talk to him, I know,
You don't know me that
Don't
well.
want any person from who's, what's,
No,
you know, I mean,
don't say that, Mayor.
yellow face, like my,
No,
me.
no, don't, you don't.
He is.
Don't say that, Mayor.
He said,
Because there ain't
not one
nobody on this-
time,
there ain't
many
nobody
times.
on this board
Just to
racist.
put it on record,
No.
I am also yellow skin or brown skin, and I never had this
So-
experience with, no, I just want to put it on the.
If we
on the
can just
record.
get back on topic, Chester, just to
That
clarify.
Chester is not a racist person.
Unless the mayor
Just want to put
agrees-
this on the record.
Let me talk. You are,
You should
listen,
behave.
listen,
Hey,
Mr.
so-
Siddiqui, listen to me.
You should just behave yourself or.
Don't use these words, She's religion, don't use
I
these
know,
words.
but
Don't
she
use these
cannot
words.
just put it in the.
You are sitting in the lap of these old guys,
Oh,
You came through
just
that.
mind
and
your
you-
language.
listen, you grow up.
Mind your
Number one,
language.
You grow up.
Because this
I
is
cannot do your
ridiculous.
babysitting,
Oh, what do you mean
Yes.
by babysitting?
And don't
You
talk
are
to resident
calling
like
a
that,
Elected representative.
Don't talk
racist.
resident to like that.
I do not want
You have
this.
no right to shut her up.
Okay. Thank you, Chester.
So the question then is, if the board and the mayor don't agree on the names for this committee
And the number.
and the number, the committee is gonna be moot.
It's not gonna be formed.
Correct. And we need another way of scoring the RFP for the banquet hall. So in normal ways of scoring, staff would get together and score the RFP, and we would then bring it before the board for approval. If the board would like us to do that, we're down to 2 vendors, so it's not gonna be that difficult. If the board would like us to do that, we will score it as a staff and bring that recommendation back to the board.
I think that would be a wonderful idea, because most of the people on here are mostly staff.
Sure.
I have something to read. For the mayor of Glendale Heights to accuse his fellow board members of being racist is the biggest insult that you can accuse anyone with no evidence to back it up. I would like to share some information to shed some light on this baseless accusation. If you were racist, you would say we are, then there would be no MSI, Muslim, IEC, Islamic Education Center in Glendale Heights. There would be no Queenship of Mary Church, the Catholic Vietnamese church located in Glendale Heights, Glen Ellen Road. There would be no additional Pakistani and food restaurants or stores in Glendale Heights. There would be no traditional Filipino restaurants or stores in Glendale Heights. There would be no traditional Hispanic restaurants or stores in Glendale Heights. There would be no traditional Chinese food restaurants or stores in Glendale Heights. There would be no Pakistani Independence Day celebration in Glendale Heights. There would be no Festival of Monarch Butterflies, a Mexican celebration in Glendale Heights. As you can see, your claim of the village board members of being racist is not true. We are a diverse village of 34,208, and 46.3% of our residents are minority communities. We support all nationalities and welcome all people no matter where they come from. Thank you, Pat.
Can I answer? Number one, I am brown. I came through election. I hired board, our committee hired Aliyah. You said you don't want to see her in this office, you know. What is your answer for that? Because she was brown? Now I'm hiring
Talking to
again.
me?
Yes.
She's not brown.
How many
She
people are?
wasn't qualified.
She was the best qualified, and
That's
she
your
was.
opinion.
Your opinion was zero, you know.
Nobody liked her. Nobody wanted her.
Now, don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about
And
these
I
people.
just
you
told
know.
you my answer.
How many people brown are on the? This
We
is
gotta
what you
stop
have.
this crap right now. It's
This
you.
is this is what you have, you know.
Can we get,
Doug,
we need to make a decision on how we're gonna proceed with the RFP. And we need to.
don't look at me like that.
You can stop me looking at you.
I would like
Oh,
to actually have the staff,
Yeah, this is what you have, you know. Learn something, you know.
guys,
For how many years you are here?
guys, can we go back to the meeting?
No,
We'll
look,
finish
this
this
guy,
up
you know,
a
I
little
mean-
bit. As
Go ahead,
far
Mike.
as- I like the staff reviewing for the RFP. If we can't agree upon a committee to review it, we need someone to take care of this because it's a time-sensitive thing and we need to get this done. If it wouldn't be too terribly tough, I think the staff would be a wonderful choice. I mean, it covers all of our
I have some
basic-
suggestion, because I know we are not gonna be agreed on this. It's gonna be another episode of, so why don't you, Doug, you and Bill Pauling and, some
Jen
staff.
and Darcy.
Yeah,
Darcy.
and start looking into this.
So when the
Because-
RFPs come in, we'll do a review of them. We'll bring that back to the board on our recommendation for the vendor to take over, and then the board can then make a decision on what the right thing to do is.
Perfect, thank
Yep.
you.
Are we
That'd
gonna
be
have
great.
enough time?
I need
Yeah.
a legal opinion upon that, you know, substitute or if you can do or not, you know. I will talk with attorney. I need his advice, you know, on this. You know.
Do we need, do we?
Do what?
Do we need a committee
Advice,
for
you know,
that?
They are saying that.
You want me to? Huh?
No, not right now. I mean,
Do
later
we-
you can do it.
Do we need a committee for that?
To review the RFP?
Yeah.
No,
We don't need a committee, right?
no. We don't, we rarely have committees review RFPs, absent, ad hoc, hey, what do you think of this? It's, usually it's just low bid and that kind of stuff. In this case, it's a village asset that we're gonna turn over to another outside company. I thought it was important for the board to have input into that village asset. If we're not gonna come to an agreement on board members, then we'll bring the best recommendation forward to the board.
I think that'd be good.
Because the next board meeting isn't till May 5th, and that's after these RFPs are due back.
Yes.
And then, if there's no consideration at May 5th as to a committee, this is gonna sit for a month before anybody reviews it.
No.
So it's important for us to have something to move forward with to bring back to the board, so the board can make an informed decision on what's the best, avenue for the banquet hall at the golf course.
And I think staff would be wonderful at it.
The thing is, this village does not know about, RFP before I came. And that RFP is coming because of me, you know. I believe in honesty, efficiency, transparency, and this is what I am doing, you know. I want to give opportunity to right people, not to cronies or not to relatives, you know. I'm against that, and I will be against that, you know. And to me, is encroachment on my right to form committee, you know. Whatever law says, I will follow, you know. But I will not be intimidated, or I don't want to be rubber stamped, by these people, who are there for 25 years. They don't know, what law says. They gave this asset, grounds, 3 grounds, to a relative who is here, sitting here,
Don't-
and for 20
so,
years. Nobody
Mayor,
talk about that.
what-
I'm the person and I will talk.
What would you like to do with the RFP then?
I will decide, that's my right. I will talk with my attorney, village attorney. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a professional person. There's clear president and board.
Yes.
So these are two different entities. You can disapprove, if I appoint, that's, you have right. But I will do what law says. I will follow law. I will not follow, relatives, opinion of my relative. This is my family member, This is my village business. I am doing all that in very honest way.
All right, Doug, you're gonna take us over with, get the committee and the names.
So it would be a staff review like any other RFP that comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you'll have it ready for us at the next board meeting?
He's,
Or we need it before then?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know if we'll have it for the next board meeting. It might take a while to review.
Right.
But probably the May 5th, 14th, May 19th board meeting.
All right. Mary?
Jennifer, I'd like to ask you a question. Sure. All right, for all the years that I've been in Glendale Heights, whoever ran the golf course, ran the banquets also, were you having a problem? Is that why you don't want to take over all these banquets? I mean, is that why we're arguing? Help me understand, because all the years that you had it, we were in charge of the food.
I think we were looking at other options to make it more financially sound. We were just exploring some options.
Beautiful answer.
So the banquet facility has seen revenue losses over the last several years, prior to COVID. We have a hard time staffing it. We have a hard time keeping employees there because of the job market that we're in today and everything else that's going on in the world today. So to minimize losses and to find a more efficient way of providing banquets to our residents and to others that want to have banquets there, looking for a professional catering company that does, all they do is banquets. We're looking to see if that's a reasonable option for the village to pursue.
Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but the golf course has always worked at a loss. So I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, and we've always been happy. So, right? I don't, right now, you've got this whole board up in the air, and I don't mean you now, don't miss, but if we're doing, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
It's broke. We're losing money. It's broke.
What makes you think we won't lose money with
Just
some
for-
stranger in
Well,
there?
because
She cannot speak in the middle of this.
because it won't be our loss.
Have to discipline her.
So if we have an outside vendor
Know how to
running the
talk.
banquet halls, it won't be our loss, it'd be their loss.
Right.
And if we have a outside vendor who can control food costs and spread food costs amongst many different banquet facilities or catering events, and they have employees that can work in more than one location, they can save their costs that we have, that we don't have the ability to control costs on. So we're looking at, we're looking at just our options for that.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Pat?
okay, why don't we do this? Let the mayor pick his committee. Wait, listen to me out before you start going off the deep end. Have the mayor pick out his committee, bring it to us. If everybody on the board don't like it, that's all you have to do is say, I don't like it, no. And then we start all over again from scratch. Instead of doing what we're doing now, because right now we don't know what we're doing. Either the finance, the administration is going to take it over, we're going to do the committee. Let him pick his committee. If we don't like it, come to the board meeting. I don't like your committee, Mayor. Okay, and then we start all over again.
But what about the time which Doug was saying?
Oh,
We don't have time to doing all this.
The RFP
We have
is-
at least one meeting.
So, May 5th,
Yes.
so, you know, the mayor, I would recommend a mayor, either a 5 or 7 member committee, not a 6. Just so you don't have an even disagreement, 3 and 3 tie. So,
I mean, we have 6 trustee, is even,
well, you're the tiebreaker.
Seven.
tiemaker, you know.
So I would, you know, you have yourself, you have Mr. Meritato, you have Darcy, you have Jen, you have Mr. Poling, and you have Ms. Chowdhury. I would probably suggest that Mr. Poling be removed, and you have Ms. Chowdhury on there, and then you have 5.
I would agree that an odd number is more efficient than an even number.
Absolutely.
How many, we have 6 right now?
In the list that you've sent to Mr. Meritato, you have 6.
That I can consider later, you know, I will see who's the next, you know, one we can take more, you know.
well, it's gotta be an odd number because, for the vote,
I can reconsider, you know, about that number, you know. Thank you.
you have to go to 5 or you have to go
no.
to 7.
Let's stick with 5. I think we
Might
were
with 5
all
or
happy
7.
with 5
5
before.
or 7, you know. That is
So-
my decision, you know.
Mayor, do you want to come back on the May 5th with those
We
names?
will talk within few days, you know, so that's not a big deal, you know.
I know, but you need to do it here at the board meeting, so that,
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I would advise, if we're gonna have and I'm just thinking about this as we're sitting here, if you're gonna have 3 or more trustees,
right,
then we're dealing with the Open Meetings Act. so-
correct.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be 3 or more trustees, right? It's how many at-large members the mayor wants.
I will talk with Mr. Pete, and we will decide then. A few days, maybe I can talk, or call, make him, you know, phone call, you know. So,
Okay.
we'll talk, you know. I want to do everything legally.
Doug, let us know then what's coming up, what's going on, all right?
So if I understand correctly, whatever mayor puts in, it's gonna come back to the board?
Yes.
And then if we agree, the board member, then it's gonna go further.
As far as the committee goes, or as far as the recommendation of the RFP?
Committee goes,
Yeah,
committee goes.
what about the committee, correct?
Committee, right.
So is
Okay.
that,
That's according to this ordinance.
Okay,
it means we are going nowhere because it's gonna come to us and we're gonna deny and then it's gonna go back. It's going to be a circle,
Well,
basically.
it's-
That's what it is going to be. I'm telling you right now.
If it fails,
He
then
gave
it's
his
just
mind,
staff
you
is
know.
gonna have to review it then.
right.
No, because you are just like a stubborn kid. Here is a village administrator is asking you that it's a time sensitive, it needs to be done tonight.
Yes.
And you are, let me think about it because I'm the
I'm a
mayor.
kid, right?
I'm not talking to
Listen,
you.
I'm a kid, I ran this campaign,
Oh,
and I'm
well,
sitting on
well,
this highest chair.
We already discussed that. Let's go to the next agenda
Watch
now.
your language, you know.
Oh, man.
Mary.
All right, I just would like to ask a question. You know, for all the years that I've been a trustee, we've always had National Prayer Day, the first Thursday in May. Now, excuse me, now the first Thursday in May will be our next board meeting, and we've heard nothing about National Prayer Day. Is the hospital not having National Prayer Day?
So they have not had National Prayer Day for the last several years.
Right.
And I have not heard from the hospital on whether they're having it again this year. My guess is they're not, since it's only a couple of weeks away. They've had a lot of transition at the hospital with employees and other staff, especially outreach staff, and I have not heard anything about it.
So obviously, we're not having it. All right, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Because we had a function tomorrow morning and that was canceled. Didn't have enough members
Right.
and staff. All right, next one is Easter. Pat.
Oh, thank you, Chester. Breakfast with the Easter Bunny. I thought it was a great success. It was really good. A lot of kids.
Thank you.
It came out real good, and I wanted to say thank you to all the volunteers. I mean, people coming, not getting paid, and working till noon. And Joyce, in the costume, I mean, she did an outstanding job.
She did.
So make sure when you see her, you tell her that the board says
I will
he
certainly
did a
pass that
great
along.
job. Okay, thank you.
How did Mike do after I left with the big grill? Did he
You know,
make?
I
He
handled
can't
that
make
big grill
pancakes, forget
great.
it. I had to take it away from him.
No, you did not.
Mr. Siddiqui, hide and seek.
I think we had already too much drama, so I'm just gonna drop that.
Okay.
I wanna go home and
We
sleep.
need a motion to adjourn then.
Yes.
Mike,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
roll call vote.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Mayor Coker?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes,
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
meeting is adjourned.
That's right. That's right.